In the heart of Serbia, nestled amidst a thick forest, stood an ancient mansion that had long been abandoned. The locals whispered stories about the mansion, tales of mysterious disappearances and eerie occurrences that surrounded it. But none of these stories sent shivers down spines quite like the legend of the Serbian dance lady. I had always been drawn to the macabre and the unknown, so when I heard about the mansion and its terrifying history, I couldn't resist the urge to explore it. Armed with a flashlight and a heart full of both excitement and trepidation, I ventured into the forest one moonlit night. The mansion's looming silhouette emerged from the darkness as I drew closer. It stood as a relic of a forgotten time, its windows shattered and its once grand facade worn down by years of neglect. I pushed open the creaking front door, its hinges protesting as if warning me to turn back. Ignoring the chilling wind that seemed to whisper in my ear, I stepped inside. The air inside was musty and heavy, carrying with it a sense of foreboding. The interior was a mixture of decay and opulence, with remnants of faded grandeur scattered throughout the rooms. As I wandered through the mansion, my footsteps echoed in the empty corridors, and the shadows danced on the walls, casting eerie shapes that seemed to come alive. In the heart of the mansion, I discovered a grand ballroom, its wooden floor warped and cracked. Moonlight filtered through the broken windows, casting an ethereal glow over the room. And there, in the center of the ballroom, was an old gramophone, covered in layers of dust. It was as if time itself had frozen in this room, waiting for something to set it free. A shiver ran down my spine as a distant sound reached my ears, a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the gramophone itself. I approached it cautiously and, to my surprise, the gramophone's rusty arm lifted and lowered itself onto a dusty record. The eerie tune filled the air, its mournful notes weaving a tale of loss and longing. And then, as if summoned by the music itself, she appeared, the Serbian dance lady. She materialized at the edge of the ballroom, her form swathed in a tattered gown that flowed as if carried by an invisible wind. Her face was obscured by shadows, and her movements were graceful yet unnatural, like a marionette pulled by invisible strings. I couldn't tear my gaze away from her as she began to dance, her movements synchronized with the melancholic melody. She twirled and swayed, her feet gliding effortlessly over the decrepit floor, leaving behind trails of dust and memories. Her dance was mesmerizing and haunting, a symphony of beauty and despair that held me captive. As she danced, the room seemed to transform. The walls pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and the air grew thick with an unsettling tension. The shadows that had once been mirror reflections now seemed to take on a life of their own, reaching out like ghostly fingers. The temperature plummeted, and I could see my breath in the frigid air. Fear mingled with fascination as the Serbian dance lady's dance grew more frenetic, her movements bordering on the grotesque. Her gown swirled around her, and her form twisted in ways that defied the laws of nature. I realized that this was no ordinary dance, it was a ritual, a summoning of something dark and sinister. Panicked, I tried to move, but my limbs felt like they were made of lead. The music's haunting melody drilled into my mind, and I felt as though I was being drawn into a nightmarish trance. The Serbian dance lady's shadowy face turned towards me, and I could feel her gaze pierce through my very soul. With a sudden jolt, the gramophone's needle scratched across the record, shattering the trance that had ensnared me. The Serbian dance lady's movements ceased, and the room returned to its decrepit state. The air grew warmer, and the shadows retreated to their resting places. I stumbled back, my heart racing, and rushed out of the mansion as if pursued by demons. The forest welcomed me back, its rustling leaves and chirping crickets offering a stark contrast to the horrors I had witnessed. As I looked back at the mansion, a chilling realization dawned upon me: the Serbian dance lady's dance was a curse, a dark ritual that ensnared anyone who dared to witness it. The legend of the Serbian dance lady still echoes in the hearts of those who remember, a cautionary tale of curiosity and the dangers of delving into the unknown. And as I left the forest behind, I couldn't help but wonder if the Serbian dance lady's curse would forever haunt my dreams, her haunting dance forever etched into my memory.